Ever since its opening in 2004, Thunderhead has been consistently ranked as one of the best wooden roller coasters in the country. It's won the Best Wooden Roller Coaster Award in 2005, and then basically stuck in the top 10 up through 2018. With such praise, my first rides on Thunderhead in 2016 were met with high expectations. Well, after many rides that season and a few good rides in 2020, I think I have a good grasp of this allegedly top-tier woodie. Presentation. I would argue that Thunderhead has the weakest presentation of all the roller coasters in the park. The station is a basic wooden coaster station, with the exception of the fly-through track. The roller coaster has no theming to speak of. The name Thunderhead is based off a mountain in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park, which was heavily logged in the 19th century, per Wikipedia. With Wildwood Grove being built right behind Thunderhead, all the trees that tuck this coaster away are now gone, making this roller coaster stand out. Presentation gets a score of 6. Ride intensity. I would consider Thunderhead a well-rounded roller coaster. I'm not sure if the coaster greatly excels in any category, but manages to do solid numbers across the board. After reaching the ride's max height of 100 feet, Thunderhead performs a steep twisting dive to the right. The coaster then sweeps to the left as it climbs up into an overbanked turn to the right. GCI are not known for creating overly banked turns, and I'd say that Thunderhead provides some of the steepest turns in their lineup. The coaster then dives back down and starts bending to the left, all while traveling up into a banked airtime hill. The coaster dips back to the ground, flying under the other sections of the ride, another turn to the right, which is quickly followed by yet another banked airtime hill. Thunderhead is now ready to fly into another banked 180-degree turn to the right, which sets you up for the station fly-through. A quick pop of airtime leads into another ascending turn to the left. After another quick pop of air, the roller coaster enters the most twisted portion of the ride. First, starting with a near 360-degree turn to the left, which sends you into a 180-degree turn to the right. The train weaves side to side before entering one turn to the left, which ends with the brake run. Thunderhead has incredible pacing, only losing its great speed for a few seconds near the beginning of the ride. It's this great speed that earns Thunderhead a reputable 7.5 score in ride intensity. Fun factor. As I said in the last category, Thunderhead is a well-rounded roller coaster. It provides a variety of elements and forces to keep you on your toes. I would say the coaster specializes in laterals, but there are still a few good moments of airtime, especially of those riding up in the front. I think I've mentioned this in previous videos, but GCI seems to be made for the front rows, which is where I'd argue is the best place to ride. I'm also a huge fan of Thunderhead's snappy transitions. The coaster is lightning fast with its transitions, moving from turn to turn, all while sneaking in a few pops of airtime. Fun factor gets a score of 8. Originality. Great Coasters International loves to make twisted coasters. Thunderhead is one of those attractions that you would have a hard time following the coaster as which direction it is heading while watching it from the ground. Even while you are on the ride, it's a spaghetti bowl of track, sending you in multiple directions, climbing over and diving under other sections of the coaster. With that said, I think this layout, though more original for its time, is starting to wear itself thin. Thunderhead is the first roller coaster to feature a station flyby, which is a neat moment of the ride, but in today's world, this is an element we've seen GCI use a few times. The windy nature of Thunderhead is what sets this roller coaster out amongst other wooden coasters of its time, though it also wasn't the first GCI to feature a twisted layout. In the end, a score of 7.5 sounds reasonable for originality. Ride smoothness. When I first rode this roller coaster in 2016, I thought it was rather smooth for a wooden roller coaster. I had no complaints. Well, over the next few years, I heard stories of how this roller coaster was starting to get rather rough, and some even claiming it was unrideable. Well, my re-rides in 2020 told a different story. Granted, the coaster did undergo some major track work in the previous season, but I thought it was still running acceptable for a GCI. There are moments where it gets a little rough, but never enough to deter me for taking another spin. Considering this a wooden roller coaster, a score of 8 for ride smoothness sounds right on par. Okay, the final score comes to 7.4, which is a decent rating. As I said multiple times already, Thunderhead does well in every category, but again, not really taking a particular aspect to the next level. If I was ranking this roller coaster in 2016, my opinion would be a lot different. I've considered it to be one of the best wooden roller coasters on the planet. Now, I'm not sure if it even cracks my top 10. 2019 had Thunderhead ranked in the 11th place, which might be overranked when compared to all the other wooden roller coasters out there, but since Dollywood is a popular destination, the nostalgia factor will play an important role in ranking this coaster. My personal score is going to be a 7. I like Thunderhead and I believe it's a good wooden roller coaster. Its glory days might already be behind it, but the way Dollywood takes care of their attractions, it wouldn't shock me if this roller coaster received a few sections of Titan track to smoothen out the worst offenders. Dollywood takes pride in their attractions, and I think Thunderhead will continue to serve as a great supporting coaster to their overall coaster lineup. Well, that concludes my review of Thunderhead. What do you think of Thunderhead? Let me know all about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please click on that like button and subscribe. That way you continue to get great content brought to you by XscreamThrills.